Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Shay, your local numerologist. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Make sure you leave your experiences in the comments below. So the chosen number for today is 7. So we're going through, oh goodness, 5-digit repeating numbers right now. So randomly pick the number 7. Wow, it's even on the bottom of this deck as well. So let's pick out the rest of these 7s here. 7 is a number about self-reflection. Right now, I'm getting something about taking a look at your inner circle and I guess recognizing some kind of problem, situations, issues there that maybe have been ignored in the past, or maybe something you have been ignoring with the people that mean the most to you. All right, so we got all these 7s. Let me make sure we got them all on the board. All right, so the number 5, because we have 5 7s here. 5 is a number that represents change, right? 5 is a number that can represent fear because I hope y'all can hear me, sorry. It's definitely something to do with things being unknown, right? So 5 is all about fear, unknown, and change, right? So we have 7 here. 7 times 5 is 35, right? So the number 3 represents our communication, community, siblings, okay? If you think about the third house, neighborhood, things like that. So I do get this, and this is why I said in the beginning I was getting inner circle. So 3 and 5 is a communication change, right? And this communication change is dealing with the way that you handle your relationships. And the only way to achieve that is by taking a look within yourself, and really figuring out what you want and what you need, and not to live up to the standards of others, and not to really put a focus on what others want from you, or what others think of you. I'll put that right there. So we have 7, success, realize, manifesting and manifestation, develop spirituality, right? So this last line on the bottom is kind of like your directive. What do you need to do? You need to develop your spirituality. There is some kind of lack of confidence that comes out when you deal with other people, especially people that you care about. I feel like you have this idea that if you don't do this or do that, there is some kind of massive like disappointment that you are going to show people. And Spirit really wants you to move away from this because it is preventing you from being yourself. So we have 7 here: self-realization, spiritual, intuition, inner knowing. And then 7 in reverse is God complex, critical, self-reliant, and apathetic. Okay, so the word apathetic is really standing out to me. Critical and apathetic, right? So here's a couple things here, because we have 3 7s in reverse and we have 2 upright, right? And something about them being in the middle and not on the end, I don't know, it's standing out to me. We also have this pattern here, this pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue, pink. Okay, I don't know, I'm adding extra shit right here. So pink is the color of compassion, heart chakra, and then blue is the color of our throat chakra, which is communication. And so what I get here is that your communication is kind of shrouded and surrounded in compassion, aka you fluff everything. You have a hard time giving it to people straight, and yeah, it's difficult for you. So I know it can be hard, because there is this balance, and I won't deny there is a balance between telling somebody like it is, sugarcoating some shit so much they don't know what it is, and then being rude and mean as fuck when you tell them something. All right, I tell y'all, I'm a Capricorn, so most of the time I just give it to people straight. I am a tad neurodivergent, so I really don't read emotions as well as I read like energy. So it can be like sometimes I say things and it may hurt people, basically, and I might have a hard time seeing that. But as long as I present something in a way that is with love, I'm not gonna feel bad about it. Like, I'm not gonna come up to you and be like, "Oh yeah, you fat as hell. You need to lose weight." I'm not gonna say that. I'm not that type of person. I might tell you like, "Hey, you probably should not be drinking soda. Like, that shit is really bad for you." Just like that. I don't have it, and that's it. So I feel like you guys come from a place of love, but instead of you telling that person, "Hey, you should stop drinking soda," you'll probably be like, "Oh, I read this study about what soda can do to your body, and that's crazy, right? You see this, right?" And that's sugarcoating some shit to the point where they're not getting the point that you love them and you want them to change their lifestyle, right? So I'm getting that you guys do a lot of that. This God complex energy is that super save a hoe energy. You are nobody's savior. Real heroes save themselves. Okay, there is, and I'm sorry for y'all that are religious and all of that. There's no such thing as a savior. Nobody's coming to save your ass, okay? If they were coming to save you, the shit would have been done already. You are not being saved. So you pretending, "Oh, if I do this and if I do that, it'll work out eventually." It won't. Make sure you guys are taking steps toward the things that you really want in life, and not pretending that something's gonna work out just because you feel like it's the right thing and you feel like it's the way it should be. You don't know shit. Okay, you can't read somebody else's destiny. You can't read somebody else's path. We are here to guide, and if somebody doesn't want your guidance, then you have to move along, right? It's not your job to hold somebody's hand like you're walking a kindergartner to the fucking bathroom until they get to the place where they need to be and they go and do the things that they need to do. Like, as an adult, you'll be like, "Hey, the bathroom is in that direction." You'll point them that way. And it's up to them to go over there. You don't have to hold their hand. And I do get that. A lot of hand holding, a lot of sugar coating, and that needs to change. And this is something like, basically, it's so crazy. Spirit be on point with this shit. But like I said in the beginning, this 7 times 5 is 35. Communication changes, right? Major communication changes. And this is with the people that you love. All right, so that's my kind of message. Let's pull some charms and let's see what Spirit is sending down. What we got here? We got the octopus in a chef hat. I really like that trinket. It is so cute to me. What is this? A tree. All right. I really like the tree. Growth, sturdy, foundation, yarn. Okay. That's the first time I got yarn. So we got 2 more. This is a horse. This is like a Pegasus, right? The horse with the wings. Man, Spirit be on point. And then we got the owl. This owl reminds me of a pineapple. So let's talk about it, right? So we got 7 here with the chefed out octopus, right? You know what's funny is that the octopus looks for food on and off land. So the octopus is a pretty good chef. He's chefing it up, right? So what I'm getting with that, because it says success realized, right? Develop spirituality. There is more to life, right, than the things you can touch or the things that people see you do. And so you guys have to realize that you don't have anything to prove. You have already proven yourself successful. I also get this vibe that you are really independent as well, because the self reliant is standing out to me over here, right? So we have this idea that, okay, well, I don't need anybody else, or nobody else is going to be able to come through for me like this or like that, and really in a position of depending on yourself. Then we have the seven here in reverse again. This is what the family tree. Spirit specifically said family tree. And something about you outgrowing them, outgrowing their ideas, outgrowing their ideals, outgrowing the culture that you guys have within the family. Some of you need to realize that some of the culture that's in our families are generational curses. And regardless of your grandma telling you that a child is to be seen and not heard, that is not a fact. A child does absolutely need to be heard. And telling people that a child's opinion or their feelings don't matter does not allow us to grow up and be healthy adults, right? And so I bring that up because I know that that is like somebody like me who grew up as a kid in the 90s. Don't get me wrong, ain't nobody ever tell me that, but I've heard the saying before, and it's one that is quite disturbing. And I feel like a lot of us have moved past that idea that our kids don't need to express themselves and don't need to talk about their feelings or whatever. And this is something that we know, like this is now like it would be socially unacceptable to tell your child to be quiet and not speak on their feelings, right? Because this is about growth. This is about beating out those generational curses. And this is something that, as a society, honestly, that is one thing that we have been successful in, moving our kids out of this space where they can't speak their emotions, and oh, boys aren't supposed to cry and all of this bullshit, right? So I do feel like we're making something new, and I feel like the yarn is giving that energy, especially with the upright seven. The yarn is giving me the energy of like crocheting, which is like creating, right? So when you crochet something, a lot of times with yarn, we're making something that is warm, that keeps us out of the cold or protects us from the cold weather. And I think that, and it's not like this hard protection, right? Yarn is very soft. It's very like comforting. I mean, as long as you don't get the cheap shit, okay, whatever. So I do get this energy that this is some kind of soft protection or something that you need to loosen up on. I feel like you guys have a family member that is very, very important to you, a family member that you have kind of like been through it with. And Spirit is saying that this is somebody you need to let your guard down with. This is somebody that you need to learn how to communicate with. Whatever's going on here, I get a partnership, right? Two sevens is a five, and I get flying above. So the reason I say two sevens is a five is because this is a couple, right? And there's two people that are making change, because five is all about change, flying above the bullshit where you would normally we're seeing a horse running on ground, whereas this one is a flying horse, right? So our journey is something that isn't normally recognized. It's different, you know, than everybody else's journey. It takes on this kind of different like a path and a different energy, inner knowing, self realization. As we move into this year seven, right? So 2023, especially a lot of you guys are going to see this video in 2023, which is a 7 year, and we are working on a big self realization this year. Something that is very important to see who we really are and who really has our back. This is what I'm talking about. Check your inner circle, because you guys have counted somebody out that shouldn't have been counted out, that should have been by your side the whole time. I get this vibe of being unwise because somebody didn't behave the way that you wanted them to, or they didn't do something that you wanted them to do. It's kind of like, I don't know, they weren't there for you as much as you would have liked. Okay, so I'm doing my best with these, because 5 digits is a lot. So this is gonna be mostly channeled messages, but I do want to do some runes here. All right. Whoa, we got Berkana. You see that? I should is trying to be upside down intentionally, or right side up. We'll take it up, right? All right, so let's look at what we got going on here. We got Urus, which is the ox, right? Strong. Um, Urus is about health, endurance, courage. So I get that whatever it is that you want to do with your life right now, this is going to take courage. This is not something that's going to be as simple as, oh, yeah, I said it and, it's done. You have to pound it into somebody's head that you are who you are, right? Then we have Fehu, right, which is falling on this growth, but the 7 is in reverse. This is wealth. It also represents cattle, but wealth speaks for itself. Abundance, hope, prosperity, good fortune, right? But I feel like it's like this is something that is or will be given to you if you go through the right path, right? So you are a very strong person, and you have been through a lot. You've been through so much that you have learned to adapt in ways that others could not even dream of. It's unspoken of, right? But from that, developing that independence and all of that's going on, you have learned to be very self-critical, right? And not only are you very self-critical, but the people around you are also critical of you. You eat up a lot of negative energy. It has to stop. It has to stop. You eat up all this negative energy to the point where when someone speaks life into you, because this is it right here. Somebody is speaking life here. Speaking life, right? But we have this rune here, Iwaz, which represents it kind of it represents like death, but we know what death is, right? Death is a transition from one cycle to another cycle, right? So this is kind of like an ending of some kind of life cycle, so you can move into a different place, right? You guys, listen, both of these, Gabo and Barkana, both represent gift, right? Flying above, an owl is wise. An owl is wise because it can see 360 degrees around itself. So we have the gift five, the falling on Pegasus, and this is definitely an energy of flying above with somebody who you have been protecting yourself against, but you don't know that this person has actually been your protector, right? And you don't want them to walk away. You want to kind of like show your appreciation for who this person is. So Spirit's like, fly above the bullshit and really do the things that you need to do to serve the relationships that are good for you, right? Sending you new energy. So then we have the Berkana 7 and we have the owl. The owl is success. Berkana is a gift. It does fall, right? Berkana falls under one of the runes that is about spiritual development, right? Owl is very wise. Then we have spiritual development. And then we have this idea of a God complex. And I really feel like you guys have this issue here with trying to define God and figure out the meaning of life and all of these things. Sometimes you just have to accept that the unknown is going to be unknown, and that's just that. That is just that. So, final message for those seeing 5-7 spirit, final message. All right, well, all of those came up in reverse. Let's see what we got. We got 4 cards here. All right, so we got Two of Swords in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and the Magician. This is a warning. This is a warning, right? As long as you don't use your muscle, I guess using your abilities, as long as you don't use those things that you're supposed to be doing in life, there will be a constant stop to the things that you want. A block, uneven territory. You see how that's 14? I mean, I guess 7 and 7, but I added these two sevens together and I told y'all equal 5 and the 14 came right out right here, Temperance. So let's go back to the number 14 because I talk about 14 all the time as a karmic life path number, right? And that karmic life path is about the abuse of freedom. So the freedoms that you give other people, they take advantage of it, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what type of person you are, you may allow other people to take advantage of you, or you may take advantage of other people. I'm not here to determine that, but with the Magician being in reverse, there's definitely a manipulative energy. But I also get with this Magician in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse is that you have been like kind of stopped in some kind of creative activities because these both of these cards are cards of manifesting, right? The cards of putting in the work and getting something out of it. But unfortunately they are in reverse, so you are getting a view of what you've been putting in and how it hasn't been working out for you. So there has to be a change in the way that you relate to other people and the way that you have relationships with other people and things like that. All right. So that's all I have for all these sevens, y'all. 77777. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. And then leave your experiences below in the comments. And I will see you next time.